In our top story tonight, a 5-day-old baby is lucky to be alive after a shooting incident that involved at the Oswald Harris Court area on St. Thomas recently. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this report from the scene of the crime.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. We are in St. Thomas, and I'm in the vicinity of Oswald Harris Court. And remember, yesterday we had a story about house arrest and suspects just out on bail or prior crimes. We're going to get to that in a second. Let me tell you about St. Croix, what's going on over there. Last night, around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, in the vicinity of Kmart West in Frederickstead, we had a motorcycle with no lights on, right? When the VIPD flagged them down, he then proceeded to lead them on a chase all the way through Concordia. They had blocked roads and so forth. The motorcyclist lost control of his motorcycle and careened into a police vehicle. On the phone with Police Chief Hal, we understand that that suspect took off running after that accident into the police vehicle. Fortunately, no police were hurt. That suspect was apprehended sometimes later, and we'll hear more from that from police spokesperson Melody Rames. That's what happened overnight in St. Croix. Now back to the story over here in St. Thomas, Oswald Harris Court, and back of me here, it was recently, over the weekend as a matter of fact, when we have Ira Mercer Jr. He was advised of his rights yesterday morning on 2 first-degree attempted murder charges in Superior Court. That incident happened as he fired shots at a small baby, a 5-year-old, the child's mother, and I also believe at the father as well. He fired shots at 3 family members. Apparently, Mercer had a hostile encounter with the victim's girlfriend. So let's throw it to Melody Rames right now, VIPD spokesperson.
On Tuesday, July 19th at about 11:30 a.m., police on St. Thomas arrested 28-year-old Ira A. Mercer Jr. and charged him with first-degree assault, third-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and child abuse in connection with an incident that occurred on Sunday, July 17th, near the Oswald Harris Court housing community. During that altercation, a female was grazed by a bullet on her chin. Mercer was identified as the person who argued and pointed a gun at another man who was holding his 2-year-old son. The mother of the 2-year-old intervened and was shot when the gun discharged. The bullet grazed her chin and struck her shoulder. The 2-year-old was bruised on his head when he was dropped during the altercation. The mother and son were treated at the Roy Lester Schneider Regional Medical Center and released. Mercer's bail was set at $150,000, and he was remanded to the Bureau of Corrections, pending further court action.
Thank you very much, Melody. Interesting note, like we were talking about house arrests, the suspects out on bail and so forth, criminal records. Mercer was just released from a prison in New York just this March for felony charges, all right? Mercer is now held on $150,000 bail. He will face a hearing on August the 4th at 9 a.m. in the morning in front of Oswald Harris Court in St. Thomas. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And in other news, the proposed 8% pay cut for government employees has everyone talking, including senators. News Channel 8's Wes Small has the story.
This is Senator Jeanette Millen Young, Honorable Senator Young. Thank you so much for spending time with us this morning. We're going to get right to it, Senator. The 8%. We're just 1 week away from a lot of government workers seeing their salaries reduced. Unions are bawling and so forth. But you have a measure that you're going to talk about, and it deals with one of your co-senators there, Senator O'Reilly, and also measures that we would have more transparency when it comes to financial dealings. And I know it's complex, but please, could you break it down to us in a short period of time, unfortunately, yes. Senator Young.
Yes, I know time is of the essence. I have to say that the 8% has been a source of consternation for all of us, including the senators. We are also going to face that financial hit, as everybody has. As I have often explained, the 8% may seem across the board, but in essence, everybody is paying a different amount. So there is an inherent sliding scale, because if you're earning a higher salary, you're contributing more toward the whole financial situation. As well as I feel as though because we have certain information and we act on it, our public, our constituents, the people who we want to serve are not aware all the time of our thought process. And, you know, venues such as these are excellent. Just this week we have budget hearings. We've been having budget hearings, and we will continue to have them through August as well. we met with the judges, and I think I was quoted properly in the media when I said, well, if there's no money, there's no money. But it wasn't as blunt as it came out. In fact, what I was explaining to the judges, because we had the Supreme Court and the Superior Court, is that in years past, we've been dependent on tourism, we've been dependent on our property taxes. And so now that we don't have that money, forget the fact, well, you can't forget, but don't completely dismiss it. But there has been mishandling of funds, it has been mismanagement. But today we have this pool of monies, and it's absent of much of the monies that we've had in the past regarding the property taxes and the tourism dollars that have just lessened. So what do we do with this pot that we have? And as legislators, we've had to look at dividing it. And it seems that it doesn't matter who you speak with, whether it's the government worker or the business person, nobody wants us to touch anything. And we have, again, that same pool of money. Well, what do? We have to be conscious that we represent all. And when I say we, sometimes I get so carried away talking for the institution. Yeah. I have to talk for me. I'm very conscious that we have to share the burden, and people are taking this quote of sharing the burden and saying, well, they want us to do this and this group isn't doing that. And so I feel as though everybody's upset, and they have every right to be upset because we're touching their pockets.
Senator Young, thank you very much.
And thank you for your time.
All right. Here we are at the legislature office in St. Thomas. Senator Janet Millen Young. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes, and we want to also thank Senator Janet Millen Young for her interview tonight. And now we continue our coverage of the proposed 8% pay cut as News Channel 8's Wes Small takes the pulse of the community.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. We're in Charlotte Molly with a very patient taxi man here, taking him out of his business schedule. And right around the lottery corner here, taxi man, the 8% is going to kick in about a week from now. And I want to know, how's that going to affect not only your business, but how you think it's going to affect us in the long run, not only with the economy, but you were just talking a little while ago off camera about crime, too. A lot of things happen with this economy.
They're not going to start on the senator?
What senator you want to start on?
Well, the senator in the whole took off 8% from 20% from them.
That's where you think we should start at, huh?
Yes, because they're getting too much.
We're continuing our man on the street interviews, or woman on the street, whoever we can get in Charlotte Molly today in St. Thomas, about the 8%, about the economy, what's down the road. Here with Principal Whitman Brown. Actually, you're caught in the controversy because you're one of the principals that are going to be moving around. I know in St. Croix, on our home turf, it's Education Complex Principal Kurt Violet, and even the students protested about his move. And your move is a very highly contested move as well, that you are being told to move to St. John. And is that right? They're shutting your school down?
Yes, they're closing the school and sending me to St. John.
And the name of your school was?
My school presently is Marcelli Elementary School.
Yeah, that's a lot of talk shows talk about that.
And they're planning to send me over to the back part of St. John, almost to Tortola, to a school called Guy Benjamin School.
I was talking to you and you said you don't mind saying this publicly. It doesn't look like you're going to go, does it? Are you going to go?
I'm still thinking about it. I'm having a problem looking at what is being done to the society, because it's not just the 8%. You've got I'm hearing people around talking about what they're paying for electricity. Everybody knows that it's hurricane time, so all the stores have gone up with the cost of what you have to buy. Gasoline is up there. And it's very expensive to live here. A friend of mine came in from a student from Indiana and said to me, I went to the stores and it is really frightening. He said, how do you people live here? And to say to this community, 8% or 11%, and as far as I'm concerned, that 11% is discrimination, age discrimination. Because you're saying to people, because you're older, because you have served longer, you have to pay another 3%. I don't think it's fair to the people.
That 8% is coming. It's in the courts now. Unions are not happy. People in general are not happy. And I really appreciate this conversation with you this morning. In Charlotte Molly, now another perspective. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks for that report, Wes. And when we come back from this break, your Caribbean report, your lottery numbers, and more. Stay with us on Channel 8.